Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to make these dice very easily. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start with a fresh file, and we'll just go ahead and keep the default cube. So we're going to hit tab. Oh, let me turn on my keys. Alright, once again down here you can see what I'm doing. So we're going to hit tab to go into edit mode, and now you're going to right click and hit subdivide, and as you can see this creates more faces. We're going to do it one more time, and now we have one more time. Now we have the perfect amount of faces to make a dice, whatever. Okay, now what we're going to do is switch to face. You can also hit 1, 2, 3 to switch to face mode. Now for example, this side would be 1, and then here would be 2, etc. You get it. But there's a little trick that I want to show you guys, but it involves a little something. So check this out. Select 4, right click, go to loop tools, and hit circle. Bam! Now you are not going to have this on, but don't worry, you don't have to download anything, you just have to turn it on. So go to edit, preferences, and this will open. Type in loop tools. So this is going to pop up, and all you have to do is check this box and it'll be active, and when you use it, it'll be the first thing. It's only going to appear in edit mode. So if I go in object mode, it's not here, it's a different menu. So tab into edit, loop tools, and there you go. And yeah, so once again, let me undo all this. So when you've got something square, right click, loop tools, circle, and that will make it a circle. Yay. Okay, so now we're going to hit I for inset and shrink that down just a bit. And then we're going to extrude it along the x-axis, which is red. So E, X, and then move like that. Now to better visualize what we're doing, let's tab back into object mode, and we're going to go down here to the little wrench icon, add modifier, subdivision surface, and that's a little better. So let's shade smooth. Okay, now this isn't exactly the level of quality we want, so if you go down here to viewport and click one more time, now that's a lot better. Okay, so we're gonna leave that there. So I just like to go in order of the dice numbers so that we don't get confused as to which number we're on. So we're gonna do the same thing. Okay, and then hit I, shrink it down, E, Z, and push it down. Oops, I forgot to make it a circle. Don't forget to do that. Loop tools, circle, and then once again, I, E, Z. It's good to make mistakes along with you guys so that we all remember together. So you can already see this dice is coming along. Now, if you ever need a reference image and you can't see one, click the plus here and drag down. We're going to set this to image texture, or image editor, sorry. Alright, and then using the middle mouse you can scroll to wherever your photo is and open it. And now you've got your reference image down here, which you can use here. So 1, 2, let's go, I don't know which side things are on, but just continuing what we're doing. Make sure to leave a border around because those don't really count. Alright, and then I for inset, right click, circle, and then E and X. Cool. Oops, I put that a little too deep. It's always best not to extrude from this angle because I can't really tell how far it's going. So if you see here, it looks like it's not that deep, but then when I turn it, it's a lot deeper than the other one. So it's best to extrude when you're like at an angle like this. So E, X, and just push it in. You don't want to go crazy. Don't push it like all the way in. That's what she said. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Let's do 4 on the bottom. I down, and then loop tool, circle, E. Oops, not listening to my own advice. Now we're going to do EZ because we're going up and down. maybe a little more. All right, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is like that pattern. So sometimes this happens to me. I get this circle. I don't know what I pushed to make it happen, but I just click up here and go to select to make it go away. If anyone knows why that's happening, please leave it in the comments. Okay, so we're just going to do this here. I, loop tool, circle, and rotate so I can see, and then E, Y, and push it in. Okay, and now the last one. So this one is a special case, and I'll show you why. So there would be one here, and one here, but if I do them all at the same time, when I try to inset, it's going to do it all as one object, which we don't want. So instead, let's do just like we did the 4. So we're going to do these second. So I shrink it down and then do these. I shrink it down and now select the rest of them. Loop tools, circle, E, Y. And check that out, we've got a dice. Isn't that easy? But wait, there's more. Now we're gonna do some materials. I promise these are super easy. Before we get into the materials, I just want to show you guys some things and explain a little bit because I went really fast on the first one. So this panel up here is very important. I pretty much only do Eevee, so don't worry about cycles or render engines. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I explained that in the first one. But this is, let's see what this is called because I don't know the words, viewport shading. This is just gray. Anything you put here, whether it has a texture or not, is going to show up as flat gray, just like this. Materials, shininess, none of that will apply. This is what you do when you want your computer to perform at its best because it's doing very little work to render. Now the second one is sort of an in between the final product and that one. It's like, it's kind of hard to explain. So, you know, I can make it like more, see how it's like more reflective or less reflective, and you've got stuff like that. I can actually change the color, you can do things like that, but that's the mode I like to work in the most because you get to see the most detail. And then of course this one right here, which is viewport shading, is as close to the final render as you can get. It's pretty much right in there, and the reason it doesn't look like anything right now is because I don't have anything on here. But as you can see, things are still applying like roughness, and this is where the lighting goes into very accurate mode. You don't really want to be in this mode until you're finalizing what you're working on. I highly recommend just staying in this mode. If your computer is really not good, then stick to this mode unless you have to see what you're texturing, but I just wanted to run that down. So with that, let's go ahead and apply some materials. So right now, the entire cube already has a material on it. It's just this. Let's close this actually. Dude, oops. All right, so if you ever accidentally do that, just do properties and it'll bring back this menu. So let's try this again. There we go. Did that the wrong way. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and apply material. So as you can see already by changing the color here, this dice already has texture applied to it, which is great. Let's go ahead and just make it red for now. You can make it whatever color you want, but just to keep it uniform, I'll make it red. Now we're gonna tab back into edit mode, and I did subdivide it, and we want to click this to hide it because it's kind of hard to see what we're selecting. If you don't understand what subdividing is, it just adds more detail to the model to make it like have more polygons so you can add more detail. It does, you know, make the model more complicated, but it also makes it look a lot prettier, and we'll get to that in other days. But for now, just turn that off, and in faces mode you can see I've already got these selected here, so I'll unselect these so I can show you. There's an ambulance coming by, sorry about that, a baby ate a penny. Holding shift, I'm just going to select all of these. Now hitting Control plus will expand the selection. And now if we go to the materials, we're not going to do anything here. We're going to click the plus to create a new material. So click new, and let's just, I guess we could leave it white, sure. Now when you click assign, it's going to assign it to whatever you had selected. So now in the modifiers tab, if we turn the subsurface back on and tab back into object mode, check that out. We have white on our die. Now what's really cool about this is now its own material. So for example, if I go into the red material and I turn the refraction all the way down, that doesn't actually affect the white. So that's pretty cool, right? So we're gonna go ahead and do that to all the sides. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this back off so I can see what I'm, whoa, that's really reflective. Okay, let's tone it down a little bit. There's no need to show off right now. Okay, tab, select, Control plus, select the right material and click assign. Go ahead and do that for all of them. Control plus, assign. I know this is tedious and repetitive, but repetition is great. It doesn't matter what you're learning. The more often you do it, the better you will be. So just, I encourage you to follow along and, you know, listen to your favorite music, do whatever you got to do. Whoops, I applied the wrong material to that other one. It's also important to make sure you're paying attention while you're doing repetition, because there's no point in repetition if you're doing it wrong. Okay, Control plus, select the correct material, click assign, and I guess I did it on that side too. Oh, don't forget to Control plus that. For some reason, these have more polygons. I'm not sure why, but it's not gonna hurt. They're good topology. Okay, alright, we're looking good on all sides. So now we're going to go back in modifiers, turn subsurface back on, and looks like, what the f— okay, hold on guys, why is this happening? Let me just do a test, because I don't understand why this is happening. Assign, thank you. Alright. Something weird was going on. I also had a horrible migraine earlier when I tried to do this tutorial, but I'm okay now, so maybe my brain just is still recovering. Okay. Alright, we're good. Now, I'm going to show you some cool things you can do with materials, because it's like, whoa. When you see what Eevee can do, it's really cool. Okay. So now for this part, I want you to go into the final viewport shading. We're going to go to our red material, and we're going to make those cool, like, clear red dice. But first, you got to go to the render settings right here. Turn on ambient occlusion, just because I always do, and make sure to do screen space reflections. Open the tab and make sure to click refraction. This is also good for any time you're going to make any sort of glass material or water. This is very important, and it's really simple, but if you don't click these buttons, it won't work. So now, going back to your materials, go all the way down to settings, and down here, screen space refraction needs to be checked or it will not work. Okay, very important. And now it's super easy. Transmission, think of it as opacity. It makes things clear. So as we turn it up, you can start to see that it's getting see-through. And if you look, you can see the other side of the die. Now let's make it more reflective. So we'll turn down the roughness. And you can see there you indeed have refraction. That's light bending. When you're looking through like a glass of water and you see things bending, that is called refraction. So that's a good 3D term to know. Okay. So it's kind of hard to see because it's just floating in nothingness. So let's go ahead. Actually, let's I'm going to show you how to combine blend files. So you should still have your card file. So we're going to go to File, Append, and you're going to navigate to wherever you saved your card file that we did in the first tutorial. So mine is here. So if I click that and then go down to Object, I didn't name them because, yeah, always name your objects. We should do that. So I remember that the cubes are all cards and then the plane is the ground. So we're going to append from library and check that out. We got all our cards, and now you can see the dice looks a lot more sort of realistic, but it's obviously way too big. So S for scale, and we'll shrink that to whatever normal dice size is. We'll say like about there. And okay, let's go ahead and name this. So up here, double click, we'll change that to dice. This is card 1, card 2, card 3. 3D art is very exciting. And obviously I would name these different if I had individual cards, but whatever. Alright, and now we've got our die. So we're just going to hit Shift D to duplicate, and now we've got 2. Woo! And there you go. And now something else that's really cool is you can change these. Now they have the same material, so if I go in here and I want to change the dice to blue, it's going to apply to both of them, which is very, very handy. So feel free to go ahead and mess around with those settings, have fun with the materials, and go crazy. And I will see you guys in the next one.